Hello world, welcome to my channel. How are you doing? So now we're back with our OpenFocus Timer app that we're working on. But today we have something else that we're going to work on as well, because I have this open source library BartyCrouch, and there was a new app update in Xcode 13.3 with a new version of Swift. Swift 5.6 was released, and part of that, BartyCrouch is basically relying on some library, and then something broke. I'm going to explain that in more detail later, but basically we're going to do a new BartyCrouch release with the fix. So that's the first thing we're going to do, and then we'll go back to our OpenFocus Timer. So before we get started, I want to first thank some new followers that we had and since the last stream, and that's Koshachiyata1, thank you for following, Gunnygun98, Safox35, and Scampy96. Thank you for following, all of you. So let's get to the issue. So this is BartyCrouch. That's a library that I have developed some years ago that helps you localize your translations. If you're interested in that, make sure to just read this blog post. So let me maybe link to that as well. Let me just copy the link from here. So anybody who's interested can basically have a look and read about what it's about. But basically, with the new release, we have a new bug basically that happened, or a bug that used to happen like some time ago, and a new one. So this is the one that was old from 2020, and basically this is happening with every new release. And you can read my comment at the end here, which is basically stating that I had a look at this and I needed to update the Swift syntax. This is a library that we're basing our BartyCrouch Swift code parser on. So we're using Swift syntax to read some code from your Swift files, because BartyCrouch has a transform feature where it can like transform the call to BartyCrouch and translate to another call. And for that, we're using Swift syntax. And there was an issue with Swift syntax after the release, because if you look at the releases, you can see that there was this release, but unfortunately there was a bug in Swift, and therefore also the release. And this is the bug that we're talking about. It was not usable as a Swift PM dependency, and I was using it as a Swift PM dependency in BartyCrouch. This has been now resolved just a couple of hours ago. So 2 hours ago, it was basically fixed. And part of that also, they made this new release. Usually they don't have this 0.1 release, but they had to make one to fix that bug. So I hope that it's now going to work and we can make a new BartyCrouch release. And this is the PR that is related to that was just merged also 2 hours ago. So we're going to try to make a new release with that. And here I'm basically explaining in more detail. And this other bug is also has been reported, but this is basically related to the bug here. And I've also stated that here, that we're going to make a release as soon as possible, and that's exactly what we're doing now. Actually, I could inform here this person. I'm currently working on the new release in public. Join my live stream. See, you're doing it. If you're interested, of course. So let's send the link. I have to create twitch.tv/. I have to create like a shortcut, so I can always use it easily. During my live stream. Join me if you're interested. Pochka15, how to enjoy life and be a programmer at the same time. First, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How to enjoy life and be a programmer at the same time. Can't you enjoy programming? Like let me put it like that. If you don't enjoy programming, you should probably not be doing programming. I enjoy it a lot, and that's why I'm doing it. I do what I love, so I do enjoy life by programming, and obviously I also enjoy life outside. As a programmer, you also don't get like a low income, you typically have a higher income, and that also helps with enjoying your life. So I think I don't quite understand the question. Maybe you mean something specific. Feel free to be more detailed on that, but I'm enjoying everything. Okay, I enjoy it, but it's hard to enjoy it 8 hours a day, 5 days. I understand that. So I think it depends which company you're working on, which product you're working on, and if you have the freedom to decide also to do what you love, what you want to do. And for me personally, I've also been in a situation where, yeah, not every week it was really fun, because also you couldn't decide the things, and you sometimes had to work on things that you don't think are really important, or that sometimes also just technically it's not enjoyable because you're running like into debugging issues or something like that. And I'm sure we will have that today as well, but that's just part of programming, I think, in the end. But for myself, I have decided to go full-time indie developer start of this year. So technically I'm now free to work on whatever I want to work on, but I am currently working on a private personal app. And that's going to be an app for developers. So it's something that I really care about. It's about our work, and it's basically part of fixing the problem that basically you have always this like tooling issues as a developer, right? You have like an issue there and you can't fix it alone, or the debugging is missing, something like that. And I'm currently trying to solve some part of it on the translation layer. So I'm developing an app for translating an app, basically, or some other things as well. But yeah, I hope it's going to help. And I think going indie definitely helped me, at least, to have more fun while working. But I was also having fun before. It's just sometimes it's not fun, sometimes it's fun. I guess that's the case for every job, right? I don't think it's something specific to programming. But yeah, what are you doing? Are you a programmer as well? And why are you not so happy? What's the tech stack that you're working with? Okay, so yeah, I wrote this basically, and now we're going to basically start with BartyCrouch. And before we could start doing that, though, I want to quickly make a shout out or a quick mention of a new blog post that I have written just 1 day ago. So if you're interested in Swift development, make sure to check out my my new Medium post. So let me scroll down to the bottom here. Let me just open this on a new private page, because we have the issue with the links on Medium, and I'm already considering fixing that. But I do have a friend link at the very bottom of this article that I can share with you, so you don't run into the paywall. So check out this blog post. It's basically for Swift developers, because it's about Swift evolution. And Swift evolution is basically how the future Swift features are discussed with the community and the whole process behind that. And I'm basically giving a summary of how this has been since Apple open source Swift in December 2015, some statistics on the forums, also the evolution process mentioned here. So there's like this document linked where the whole process is explained by Apple, how new features are basically pitched into the language, and basically trying to explain why I'm also doing the Swift Evolution Monthly, why it's interesting to be aware of the future of Swift development. And then I basically go into some proposals that were accepted recently, starting with clock instant duration, a really interesting proposal. So make sure to check that out. And others as well as also some proposals that are currently in review, like the distributed actor runtime, which is part of a huge topic, so it's hard to explain in detail. Also, I'm not the right person here because I'm not really the pro in that topic. But there's also other things like in if-let shorthand. So they're basically going to replace the if-let, this thing, which is if-let and a variable name, and then that variable name repeated again, by just this. So you don't have to repeat it. And that's basically being discussed right now and being reviewed. And the feedback so far is quite mixed. But yeah, that's basically what the article is about. If you want to read it, make sure to go on jihad.medium.com and you can find it. So that's that. And I think we can get started with the BartyCrouch release work. So let me go to BartyCrouch, and then after that we're going to continue our work on the focus timer, which I'm working on. And let me send you the details into the chat so you know what the focus timer is about. But we're starting with BartyCrouch. So we have been working on BartyCrouch in the past already. I can see that we have new commits being added to BartyCrouch that I did in my private time. Mostly these were just refactoring changes, so nothing too specific, nothing too crazy. Let's check these out. And let's go to project and open it. Because this is a Swift package, it's not like an app. If you have never developed a package, you can see there is no Xcode project file in here. And how to open this is you just double click the package, the Swift file, and that will basically inform Xcode how to create the project. Just in case you haven't done that yet. So this is our project structure, and let's wait until it has checked out all the dependencies. Also, let me ask, because last time there was an issue with the audio and my voice being not loud enough. I tried to fix it. I think I fixed it. But in case there is still any issues, my voice is too loud, the music is too loud or something like that, please tell me so I can fix it right away. And we don't have a full stream full of loud music in the background. It was not loud music, technically it was a low voice that I had after installing some software. Okay, so we have checked it out. I can see a warning here. That's already something I don't like. Invalid resource secrets JSON file not found. Okay, this is basically part of another article that I wrote. So let me quickly elaborate on that. So also on my Medium, basically, I wrote this article about hiding secrets from Git and SwiftPM. So what I did basically in this project is I have this secrets JSON file, secrets.json sample, and these two keys, they are basically secrets, and I need that for my tests because I have implemented some API integration here, and for that you need to be authenticated, and I have API keys that I'm using privately also when I develop in my tests and running my tests. But I don't want to, of course, spoil them on GitHub publicly, and also of course not in the stream, so I'm not going to actually fix this warning in the stream, because for fixing it I would basically need to go here, duplicate this, remove the sample, or I can actually do that. Let's just duplicate this, and the way I duplicate, what I learned is I just hold and click Option, I move it to some other folder because you can't do it on the same folder, and it basically copies it to that folder, and here it is, and then I just move it back to the folder. So I rename it and move it back. Oops, just moving without. Oh, it's automatically no, there you go. So this is the file, and then we would have to add our key here, but I'm just going to keep it empty because, again, I don't want to spoil these here in the stream. But now the warning should disappear. There you go. So that's great already, and we can see that the whole project is building. I also want to yeah, we don't really replicate the bug that's crashing. Let's just upgrade this version here, and we saw that the new version that was released, further fix, go here and go to Swift syntax, and the new release has this name. Is it listed here? No, it's not. I think they need to update this here. Maybe we can do the update ourselves. Anyways, this is the new version. Yeah, looking good. Let's also update everything else. So let's see if there is any updates to any other libraries. So maybe there were some bug fixes in them. Always good to be up to date with everything. And we can see things being upgraded. Cool. Let's check the changes. So we have done this change, but we want to actually ignore that file. And actually, this should be in the git. Okay, this is in the git ignore, and for some reason, Xcode automatically staged a new file. It is what Xcode always does when you create a new file; it automatically stages it. Yeah, by just unstaging it, the git ignore became in effect. And we can see that we have updated this file, but it looks like the package.resolve file is basically being ignored also in the git ignore. So it looks like the package.resolve file, let's just check that quickly, that it has all the right versions. Yeah, it is being ignored. That's why it's grayed out here. But it is now relying on this new version. Cool. That's that, and basically I think that's about it, and we don't really need to do anything else to fix it, but I of course want to be sure that this works, and so let's first try to replicate that. It's actually not working at the moment, so I will start Xcode for that. And we are on Xcode 13.3, right? So 13.3 is the Xcode that we are here on. And also let me just open the terminal and make sure that also the command line tools version of Swift is 5.6. So let's just run Swift version. And there's a lot of things going on here. So this is interesting. One of the two will be used. Okay, weird output here, but I think that's not on me. But we have Swift version 5.6 here, so this is also the right version. So let's just check that BartyCrouch actually does not work. And I want to just do it in a sample project where I am using BartyCrouch. So let me actually check out. Actually, are we using? Yeah, I think we're using BartyCrouch and Open Focus Timer, so we can just use that to test it out. So let me open it. And let me actually add the build script to BartyCrouch, because that's something we haven't done. So when you go to the BartyCrouch README, you'll find there's a build script mentioned here, and that's basically it. It's just running BartyCrouch update and BartyCrouch lint, and we haven't set this up in our project because we have been using this package.swift modularization, and this modularization approach basically breaks down the project that we have into many small modules that we can run independently. And when we run these, there's no way to add a build script, at least not right now. And maybe I can write a extension to Swift PM, but currently there is none, so there is no way to run a build script basically in these. But what I did in a private project, I'll apply it here too. I can just make these at least have the build script, so when we build the app, then we can basically have them run. And so I will create a new run script here. I'll just name it BartyCrouch, and I'll just copy in this code here, and this should already be working. And I also move this as much as the top as possible. Also, likewise, I create the same for the macOS app as well. Let's not forget that. BartyCrouch. So we have added that here as well. Let's move it up. And now I also want to add the SwiftGen, running SwiftGen basically, because we have SwiftGen set up and it's working in combination with BartyCrouch. So let's also run SwiftGen here. I'm just going to copy the same and just replace this part with SwiftGen, because the code that we're executing here is just SwiftGen. Lexoral is raiding with a party of 3. Lexoral, welcome and thank you for raiding. Thank you very much. How was your stream? How are things going? So we are currently making a new release of my tool BartyCrouch, because with Xcode 13.3, which was released 2 days ago, I think, or a few days ago, there was an issue with BartyCrouch not running anymore because of the new Swift version. And Swift syntax is a library that we're using, which BartyCrouch is depending on, and Swift syntax had a bug, so we had to wait with the release, and now it is fixed just 2 hours ago, and that's what we're trying to use. So we are making a new release of BartyCrouch to fix the issue. yeah, and so I'm currently setting up build scripts here for SwiftGen, and SwiftGen is run here. I'm just going to change the warning here that we get if we don't have it installed. SwiftGen not installed, download it from, and then also let's, I don't know why my main screen changed. Let me fix that. So this is my main screen. Okay, now it's working again. So yeah, let's just look up the SwiftGen link. Nice, sounds good. Great. What was your stream about? So what did you stream? Let me know. Okay, so this is a link to SwiftGen. It's always great to have this text here for people who have not installed the tool, so they get the warning that they know how to fix that and install it. So this is now SwiftGen, and it's important that BartyCrouch runs before SwiftGen because BartyCrouch is going to adjust our string files, and SwiftGen is using and reading the strings files and generating the enum that we have here. So strings enum, I think. So this is the enum that SwiftGen generates, which has all the localized strings in it. And BartyCrouch is basically updating the localized string files. So this is important to have SwiftGen run after BartyCrouch. Let's also copy this. Just apply here as well. Script file. Some people also don't know that you can actually rename these. So this is really useful to basically know what this script is about. And yeah. Cool. Now, when we run the app, or when we just build even, BartyCrouch and SwiftGen should be run, and we should be running into the same issue because I have the old version of BartyCrouch installed. We should be running into the same issue as was reported here, which is the target Swift syntax contains unsafe build flags, or the other error that we had, the other warning, I mean, where maybe you can sort by recently updated. Is I could not parse syntax tree of Swift file. We're working on designing our beta user search program. Bit of a shorter stream than expected because we got it done super fast, but can't complain about that. Yeah, true. But beta user research program, what is that? Beta user research program, like serval. User research and beta. Maybe I can find something on Twitter. Is this your Twitter? Not sure. But anyways, like server is the SAS startup, I see. So we're trying to validate the idea and MVP. Ah, okay, cool. That sounds good. But it's great that you have, yeah, that's the right Twitter. Okay, so that was the right Twitter. Yeah, it's great that it was done so quickly. I also hope that the BartyCrouch release will be done fast. And then I can focus on the open focus timer, which is the actual app that I'm working on right now. This is just in between those streams. But yeah, this is the bug I'm expecting to see now. And just to be sure that we have both installed, so I'm going to run SwiftGen version. We have SwiftGen 6.5.1 installed and BartyCrouch version. Thank you for following Lexerol. Thank you very much. So we have BartyCrouch 4.9.0 installed, and yeah, that's the version where we should have the bug. So let me build this project and see if we actually run into this. Let's wait till the build is done. It should actually happen quite early in the build, because as you can see, it's first checking the dependencies, and then before it compiles the sources, it's already running BartyCrouch and SwiftGen. So we should be seeing the warning quite quickly here. And no, we don't see it yet. These are just my own warnings. But there we go. Oh, it's even stating that it's not installed. Ah, I remember we had a path issue here. So that's too bad. So for some reason, the path in the build script was not pointing to the right place. Now I remember, we did try this already before. So let me actually just run this manually. Let me go back here. So BartyCrouch update should actually show this warning. Now let's make this full screen. So it was running some things here, and it is telling me could not find support language enum, and could not parse syntax free of SwiftUI. So this is exactly the problem that we were expecting, and we have run into this. And now that we see that, we can reproduce it. Let's try to fix it. But before we do that, we're going into a short break, so I'll be back after a short while. It's always important to get some fresh air and to stretch, so we're not sitting too long. So if you're doing that as well, do it with me and have a quick stretch. We'll be right back. Okay, back to work. So Cyril, first let me ask you if you're still here, or I don't know if it's just one person, but it's interesting that a company has a Twitch account. So let me know how your company's approach is on Twitch. Like, why are you on Twitch? Do you have any interaction with some community there? So let me know. That's really interesting to know. The reasons streaming on Twitch will be really interesting for me to learn about that. But okay, we wanted to start working on the BartyCrouch project here, and we can see that some things have changed already. And yeah, okay, I see that some BartyCrouch. So I think I ran this in the wrong path, right? Oh yeah, I ran it in the BartyCrouch path. Ustam Ahmed, welcome to the stream. Hello, how are you doing? So let me revert these changes except for the update of the version, because I didn't intend to run these in this project. I just wanted to run it here instead. We should be getting the same issue here too, right? I just run BartyCrouch update here. Yeah, we're getting also the could not parse syntax tree of SwiftUI. I'm doing well. How about you? Yeah, I'm doing great as well. I have changed my schedule, you noticed, to streaming Fridays basically full day. So basically, what I forgot to mention why I'm doing this, maybe that's also interesting to some people out there. So I used to stream Wednesdays on the evenings and Fridays on the afternoon. And basically as an indie developer, I have to somehow plan and organize my time throughout the week, because I can do everything freely. So to actually get something going, it's important to organize your time. I had the thought that streaming twice is a little better, because then, and also on different days. But then I noticed that there's a lot of overhead on preparation and also after work going on if you do it on 2 separate days. And in the end, it was a lot of cognitive load on my mind to always think about, okay, I'm going to be like on Tuesday already, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, what I'm going to do there, and like also planning on the evenings. Sometimes on Wednesday evening, I wanted to have some other things. I used to go to a chorus as well, and the chorus used to meet up on Wednesday evening. So all these reasons that told me, yeah, maybe you should put it all in one day. And so instead of streaming twice, once on Wednesday and once on Friday, I'm just streaming both on Friday, 1 in the morning, starting at 11, and the second stream is going to start at 2 p.m. That's all Central European time for me, so you can see my time right now here. It's 11:56. But yeah, that's for that. And now let's get on fixing BartyCrouch by making a new release. So this is the update that we have done. And I just want to check first if this change alone would already fix the issue, because that's what I'm hoping for. So let's open the project. And actually, I don't really think I need to change much here. And I could actually just test out if this works. And to do that, I'm going to open the BartyCrouch on the command line, and I'm just going to build this. So I'm just going to build, and I'm going to build the release version. So -C for configuration, I think it's called, release. Actions.json has been deprecated. I have no idea what this is. This seems to be an internal SwiftPM warning, so another bug or something in SwiftPM to be fixed. Or is it cached files? I don't know. Well, let's wait until it has finished. I have to attend our company's iOS meeting. We'll come back. Sure, yeah, have fun. See you around later. Okay, so once this has built, we're going to just, instead of run the, so if I just say which BartyCrouch, this is a command which tells you when you run BartyCrouch, which file or which executable will actually run. And this is the one installed via Homebrew, as you can see here. But you can always just run a different executable. You just have to provide the full path. I could also just run with this full path. And this could actually maybe fix the issue here as well. Let me actually try that out, which we had here in the focus timer. Because we tried to set up the build script here and it was not working. We could try this though. Let me try that. This fixes the issue. Let me run build this. We should not be getting this warning anymore. But we still are. Right? Oh yeah, it is checking for the wrong thing here. So it should check if this path contains the build script. And now it is saying BartyCrouch no localizable strings file found for output. That's interesting. I guess also the other paths when this is being run somehow don't work. So maybe it's a security feature in Xcode. I don't know what exactly has changed. But here for some reason it doesn't work. So let me delete these two. So we don't have them here. In the meantime, our build should have finished. No, it has not. So it's still building. This is taking really long. Compiling SwiftUI. Okay, now it has finished or not. Cannot find syntax parser in scope. That's weird. Okay, let me check that. So we are in BartyCrouch. And that's the project. It's already open. So it's stating in the file handling code file handler. The code file handler that it can't find Swift syntax. So this is inside the BartyCrouch kit. Okay, let me just check. BartyCrouch kit is importing Swift syntax. Okay, I don't really see why this shouldn't work. Let me try to build in here within Xcode. Does it build here? Okay, so we're getting the same error here as well. Cannot find syntax parser in scope. This is really interesting. Let me just search for that. Maybe this is related to the issue that they were having with syntax. Maybe it's still not fixed. Let me see. So, is this the bug? No, it seems not to be what was the bug at least. Let me go back here. This was the bug. It's being worked on. Okay, this is not exactly the same issue, so we might have run into some other issue. Let me just search for that specifically. Introduction. Okay, let me check. This is maybe just a cache issue, so I'm going to clean my caches. I'm actually going to also clean the derived data folder. Let me just do that here. Just to be sure that this is no caching issue. Okay. We have it open already here. Let's do a clean build to see. And also it's going to now check out all the dependencies newly, and we can see which version of syntax is going to check out, which is important, I think. And it is checking out the right version. This is the new one here. So it should actually work, and I'm going to build again. So when you're waiting for a build, if you want to see details, you can always go in here. That's something that I didn't know for a long time, that it's hidden here basically, because it doesn't open up automatically, and you just watch this thing here. If you want to see what it's doing, you can always go here and click that. Okay, so we're still getting the same issue. Also, It's telling us I could not read serialized diagnostics. Okay. Can't find syntax parser. Did they change big thing? Like, did they make big changes? Let me first see what they have fixed here. Okay, it's just a flag thing here. So this shouldn't be a large change. And this is this binary framework to use this that branch. We should take the branch. Is that really the reason? I don't think that this is needed anymore. Use a snapshot. Yeah, it's for the snapshot, but for the normal release, this shouldn't be required. That's interesting. Should probably specify it also with an exact release stack, like they suggest. Like this. But it shouldn't change anything, actually. So the real reason, or the question really is, why is this not working? I mean, we are importing it here. Everywhere we get the error as well. So we do have import Swift syntax, and it says you can't find Swift syntax in the scope. So in Swift syntax, let's go inside there. There should be a type Swift syntax. Search for that. Swift syntax. Or wait. Yeah. No, syntax parser, that's the name. Sorry. Syntax parser, so there should be a type called syntax parser somewhere here. And that's not it. That's not it either. Oh, there is no type syntax parser. Wait, that can't be true. In test, we do have it. Go to code. There should be syntax parser implemented somewhere. Is it an internal type or something? Why was it working before then? Here we go. Public enum syntax parser. So it is still there. I don't know why it's not showing in the release. That's really weird. So, Swift syntax. Code being slow again. There we go. And syntax parser should be somewhere here. Syntax protocol. Let me just search for it like this. Syntax parser. There it is. It's there, right there in the sources folder of syntax parser. Do they have multiple like modules inside Swift syntax that I need to import explicitly? So they have, okay. They have three libraries: Swift syntax parser, and Swift syntax builder. So Swift syntax itself is importing others. It doesn't depend on Swift syntax parser. Maybe we need to import this one specifically. So, yeah, maybe that's the issue. Let's try it out. Let's go back here. And let's just import Swift syntax parser specifically. And it says no such module. We need to also, I think, import like this. So I will remove the name here. Instead, I will replace, I will just place a product here where we just mention the name, Swift syntax parser in the package, Swift syntax. Name of the package, right? Actually, it's called Swift syntax, largely written. But I think this is always, this needs to match the repository. At least that's how I've done it in the past. It worked, so let me actually keep Swift syntax as well. It will not hurt. We can remove it later. Let's get it building first. Also in the Swift syntax package. And let's use this everywhere where we were referring to Swift syntax, and that's nowhere else, so this is the only place. And let's see if this builds now. Source file syntax is not known, but I have the feeling that the one error has gone, so we might need to additionally import something else. So let me see where this is lying. So it's inside Swift syntax, so we might have to import both. Import Swift syntax. Let's build now. Okay, easy enough. That was an easy fix, and this should be doing it. Keep it also with the exact version and the 2 product references. Cool. Let's go back to the command line and let's make a release build again to test out if this fixes the issue that we were having, so we don't make a release and run into the same issue again. Okay, it has built successfully now, and the place you can find it. Let me open this folder. And inside, so let's also enable all hidden files. So inside the build directory, there should be ARM64 Apple macOS directory, where we should have a release build. And this is basically the file that was just built. We can see it also by the time. This is just a minute ago, a few seconds ago. So let me just copy the path here. So this is the full path of that file. And running this basically in our open focus timer instead of this one should not show these warnings anymore, and we will just check it out and just see if that is actually true. So I'm going to run that executable with the update command. Let's see what happens. And there we go. So there is no localizations extracted from code, etc. But we didn't get these issues, so I think this is fixing it. We could also test it out. So let's test if everything works properly. We're just going into the open focus timer, open the project. And let's just add a new translation to someplace, so it doesn't really matter. I will just add it here. BartyCrouch.translate, and we're just going to test key, add this key, and the translation we're going to provide for English test value, for German test value. Okay, so when I run BartyCrouch now, here with this new tool that we have basically updated, it should be making the changes. Found translate entry key, transformed this one into this one, so it's all looking good. Also the code should have changed, yeah. Also the localizable strings file should have this new entry, it does, and the same for English as well. Added. So yeah, BartyCrouch is working again, and we have confirmed that it's working. We have minimal changes, and they help us fix the issue. So let me actually open a new branch for that. Or actually, I think we don't need that. I will just commit it right away. So this is basically fixes an issue with, basically updates Swift syntax to work with Swift 5.6 and Xcode 13.3. Basically the fix. Telling me that I can't commit because, yeah, we also have something going wrong with Swift what is that name? Swift format. So we are using Swift format to format our code, and I hope that they have a new release too, but they don't have a new release yet. Is there one in the making? Update package to Swift 5.6. Yeah, there's one in the making, but it's not released yet. So as long as this is the case, we're going to run into this issue. I'm just going to ignore and skip the pre-commit hooks and commit right anyways. And this should basically be the fix. So let me push this. So our CI should be running. Let me check that quickly, just to be sure that also our tests are still passing. Although we didn't really do any changes, we can go to the actions here. And we can see already in the main branch it was failing before due to some other changes that I made, so maybe we should fix those as well. Let me have a look what was failing. Okay, SwiftLint was failing. Let me run SwiftLint. SwiftLint. And yes, as we can see, there are some issues in command line actor sorted imports. Not the most important one, well, let's fix them anyways. Command actor. Command line actor, that's the name, right? Line actor. I can't find it. Oh, this is the open focus timer. That. Command line actor, there you go. And it wants me to sort these. Then we will sort them. Where else? On translate, transformer, configuration tasks. Translate, transformer. Utility comes after. Demo tests and strings files updater. Demo tests. Like this. And strings file up. STU. Novas1R1. Thank you for raiding. Oh, thank you very much. How has your stream been going? How are you doing? 16 viewers. That's like, for me, for a small streamer like me, that's a lot. Thank you very much. Let me check you out. Tapir 2342. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for writing in the chat. Hello, how are you doing? How was your stream? Supporting the app devs. Thank you very much. That sounds nice. Yo, Dodgy, why don't you use Flutter? Why I don't use Flutter? That's an interesting question. I actually plan to write a blog post about that because I get this question so often. But to keep it short, I have said this already in previous posts. To keep it short, when I started out developing, there was no Flutter, there was no React Native. I started in 2011, and back then there was only native and some trying things. There were like Sumerian and things like that, but all of them died. And also React Native, I think, is kind of dying now. Flutter is now the new thing. And the thing that has always stayed is native. Like, native has been here for a long time, and it's still here. And the code that I have written, actually, I checked it out some time ago. The code that I have written in 2012 and 13 is still working. So that's something I think you can't say if you develop in Flutter, that your code is going to be still compiling and working in 10 years from now. So that's the main reason why I keep. It's like saving me time long term, because I don't have, because the technology is so long-term supported. Thank you for following. Yeah, no, thank you for following for sure. So what we are doing right now is we're doing a BartyCrouch update, because I have this tool called BartyCrouch. It's an open source framework that is about helping iOS developers to translate their app and fixing issues with translation, so preventing like value translation, like empty translations and things like that. It's also helping translate into many languages. So let me actually share the link to it. And also I can basically recommend this blog post, which goes into detail what it's about. Let me share that instead, if you're interested in BartyCrouch. And there was a bug with BartyCrouch after the Xcode 13.3 release a few days ago, with Swift 5.6 being updated, because we're using a library from Apple that is called Swift Syntax, and this library had a bug which was just fixed a few hours ago, and this makes it possible that we can now also fix BartyCrouch. Native devs will be needed for a long time. Yeah, and that's definitely true. I think Flutter is also nice if you want to develop for Android and iOS at the same time, and you're just starting out. I can totally understand that you're going for Flutter. It's definitely an amazing platform to be doing development in there. I personally also develop Android apps, so I basically went native on both platforms. It's like, of course, it's more time investment, but I personally really care about long term, and I just don't know if Flutter will be around and be supported on that level like native will be in 5 years from now. So that's my take on it, but I can totally understand if you're going Flutter. I didn't expect a reasonable answer. No worries. I mean, I'm trying to give also some guidance to beginners here, so that's why I always take those questions seriously. I do indie app reviews, yeah, that's my own thing. So both native, that's great skill. I'm not that good in Android native, so I have learned. I have actually also an app developed in the open source. It's called Fitness Tracker Android. So if you want to check out basically my first app after learning Android development, this is it. It's not a really crazy app, but basically it's also totally free and open source. It has technically 5 stars, but it doesn't do much. Basically, why is this German? Can I not change this to English? Let's not go to break right now. How can I change this to English? Why is it German anyways? Can I do like lang English? Locale? Anyways, I'm just going to show you the screenshot. I hope that you will understand anyways. So it's about next workout, and you can basically track your workouts that you're doing, and the app is about reminding you when to do your next workout, and it's basically showing you in between your workouts the time that you had there, if that was fine or not. And there is a difference between like cardio workouts and muscle workouts, because muscle workouts you have to make a break of up to 2 days, otherwise your muscles will have problems. But for cardio, the next day you can run and you can have a run again. So it's taking that into consideration. And you can also add, if you're like being sick or something, you can add I'm sick, so the app doesn't remind you that you should be doing workouts. Obviously when you're sick you should be chilling out. And then you can also enter your circumference of your weight and things like that, and it'll calculate the body mass index, which is known, and the lesser known body shape index, which is actually supposed to be an improvement on the body mass index. So that's basically what the app is about, and that was my first app. That was interesting, learning things. Did you use a backend? So for this app, this is a totally local app. It's storing everything locally, so there is no networking involved at all. This was my first app, and I think for a first app you shouldn't be going too crazy. After this, I also did an Android app in my work. I worked on that, so I do also now have experience with networking. And actually, there is another open source tool. I'm an open source fan. It's called Micria. This is a networking library that I have written for iOS development, because there is this great framework called Moya. It's very famous and very popular, but it has a lot of dependencies, and a lot of it's like depending on element fire, it has like RX Cocoa, RX Swift, and things like that in it, and it also has grown over time. And this is basically a micro version of it. And for my work, the app work, basically there was a Micria version for Kotlin developed as well. So it's basically the same idea. And it's for Kotlin though, and you can see also the same icon. And yeah, so that's how we did it in that project. So I'm coming to if you need native code. Oh, you're German as well. Yeah, I am. I am German. I am from Germany. And if you wanna ask me anything in German, we also, as you're German too, as it seems. Let me give a shout out to the App Store Tagebuch. So this is a podcast of 2 app developers called Nico and Holger, and they invited me a few episodes ago due to this library called BartyCrouch. And then after we had one podcast talk there, they asked me if I want to join long term. So if you're interested in podcasts, then make sure to check this out. I think it's going to be interesting. It's roughly once a month, and you might be interested in that as well. Well, let's get back to work. So we were on the BartyCrouch fix here, and we just tested that it does work in the project. So everything was looking good, and I was about to, I think, make a release, right? So what changes do we have here? Yeah, we were fixing the Swiftland issues. Let's try if they're fixed now. Yeah, no issues anymore. So let's make that commit as well. Changes are looking good to me. Fix Swiftland warnings to make CI happy. And we are skipping this as this is related to the same bug in Swift. And I hope that will be fixed soon as well. So let's wait now for the CI to make sure that everything is still working. I don't want to make a release with a broken CI. Sorry for breaking your flow. I'm really interested in information. Thanks. Don't worry at all. Like, if I was trying to focus, I wouldn't stream. Like, that's the whole point of streaming, right? I'm streaming because I want to have a chat. I want to answer questions and get into this discussion. And so no worries about that. I need to drop out. Have a schönen Tag. Tapir 2342. Thank you very much for being in the stream, and have a nice day. Yeah, that sounds cool. Northern Dev, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? And thank you for following Gatsukama. Gatsukama sounds Japanese, so are you somehow related to Japan? Are you from Japan? I really love Japan. So maybe you noted on my about page, I really love Japan. Northern Dev, also thank you for following, and Tapir 2342, thank you for following as well. So many new people here. Again, thank you very much for rating. That was really nice, and now it's more interesting. So this is running, and Swiftland has again failed. It says sorted imports should be sorted, but I thought we just fixed that. Let me running, and let me actually upgrade Swiftland. Maybe there's a new version of Swiftland, and the server has that new version. Oh yeah, this one here again. Let's do that. Actually, I think I'm just going to make the whole opt homebrew. Now let's try again. Brew upgrade Swiftland. Gatsukama, no, it's from a random name generator. That's interesting. So I'm a large fan of Japan. Japan is a really great country, and me and my wife are actually waiting to go to Japan for a long term. We are planning to have like a tour in Japan for multiple months to learn also the language. We are already trying to learn the language, but it's much better if you're there. And we're just waiting. Japan isn't allowing anyone in as a tourist. They're just allowing in currently if you have like a student visa or a work visa there. And that's just something we don't have right now. So I can see, okay, there are 16 violations. I just didn't see them. No serious ones. So we still have these. So translate task handler, init task handler, so many of them. I think everywhere where we added this new import, I think we have to check every file. So in this file, we have it. And obviously because this is B, it needs to be sorted at the top. And maybe I should turn off that rule. It's not really an important rule, right? And it's supposed to actually help not have many merge conflicts and things like that. And now it's just, yeah, making me slower. So maybe I should just turn it off. What do you think? Should I just turn it off or should I keep it on? Maybe we can make like a community decision here. Okay, now they should have gone. 9 violations left, sorted imports still. For example, a normalized task handler. Normalized task handler. Oh, we also have this one. It's not a hard fix, so let's maybe just do that. And we have stopped the timer also. Maybe we should go into the break soon. So I am having 3-minute breaks every 25 minutes because it's always great, I think, to not sit for too long in a row. And it's also a reminder to any viewers, maybe to just stand up and walking around for a minute or something like that. And we're going to do it right after I get this to build, and while waiting on a CN now it should be fixed. So let me push this change. Let me just check, double check. That's always what I'm doing, is double checking by just walking through here that we're not committing anything that we didn't intend to actually change. But it does look like everything is expected. And I'm just going to amend it to my previous commit, which is fix Swiftland warnings to make CI happy, because this is the same thing. And if you have the same thing and your first attempt was just wrong, you should basically squash it into one commit. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So because we squashed it, I have to force push, which you shouldn't do if you don't know what you're doing. And now, while waiting on this one to pass, I'm now hoping that this will pass. So we're getting into the break now, and I'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay, we're back, and the CI is looking good. So SwiftLint has passed now. macOS has just passed as well, and the test macOS. And if the test macOS passed, the build macOS will pass for sure as well. So I think we can continue with the release. And for making a release, as always, I am using, just to repeat that, I am using the Git flow architecture. So if you're interested in that, let me also share that link. Git flow. If you're looking for like an explanation, the official one is from NVIDIA here on this post. And yeah, they're explaining what this is. It's like Git branching model, and I'm using that. So if you're interested in learning about that. And basically what it just does, it's a couple of scripts that do multiple actions in once. And I'm just going to start a new release here. I'm going to give it, that's a good name, good question. Now, should we name it 4.10.0 because it's like a new feature because it only works with Swift 5.6, or should we call it 4.9.1 because it's just like a bug fix? Not sure about that. So we are technically fixing a bug, but at the same time it's not compatible with an older version. So I think we need to call it 4.10.0. I think it's more correct because yeah, it's sort of a breaking change here. With requiring Swift 5.6 now. So that's that, and now let's make the documentation changes, which I typically do in Atom because I can search for all files in Atom, including like the README and things like that. So let me just search for 4.9, wherever we had 4.9 mentioned. Want to change that. The pod spec, for example, let's change it to 4.10. This one here, I need to change later. This need to be changed. Change it both at once. Oh, and we also have to go back to README because it is now depending on Swift 5.6. Does it mention Xcode version anywhere? Xcode 30.3 and 5.6. There we go. This version needs to change, and version 2. I'm sure I could write a script that simplifies that, but yeah, never did that, and I don't intend to right now. So let me copy that, and what we have basically done is upgrade it to a new version. I think I have that already in the past, so maybe we can just copy 5.5. There you go, updates with syntax dependency. 5.5 in this case, and this was listed under changed, and I'm the author in this case, so let me just copy something like this. We don't have a PR, but we have issues that are related, and that's first. So we saw that everything passed now. First issue we had was this one here, and the other one is this. So we have these two issues which are related. That's 201 and 249. So mention them here. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Issues 201. And likewise, it's also related to 49. Okay. So we are going to also close these by after the release, but I'll comment that later. Let's just move this down to this section, which will get the name of the release, and that's going to be 4.10.0, and today is March 18th. So that's the date, and all the other things we have not changed. technically we have some code refactorings that happened within the project. Maybe it's worth mentioning those as well. But it's all internal, so I think it's not needed to mention it anywhere. So that's the changes. We have upgraded the version and added a new section about the release. Okay, good. So I call it bump version and document or document. How do we call it? Previous releases, bump version number, and create a new changelog section. Create new That's that, and basically this is about it for the release. Now we can basically merge this and finish the release, which will automatically, as you can see in the history now, it has automatically merged the release branch into the versions branch, and then merged that tag into the main branch, and this is what the script has done. Now we can push them both on the main. Also, we can push on the versions branch. And we should also have the tag now uploaded for 10.0. And next steps basically are documented in BartyCrouch itself. So let me just open this. And if we scroll down to in the README, it's a reminder for myself basically, and that's how I actually do it. After release checklist, so run make portable zip. That's the first thing we need to run. Let's do that. So we are here. Let's copy that. Copy. Make portable zip. To generate this file here. Then create a new release with text from changelog MD section. Let's go to the changelog. And this is the text. And attach portable zip. So let's go to the releases here. There they are. Scroll down. So this is the releases, and I'm now going to draft a new release. I'm going to choose the tag and copy in the changed things here. Let's go back here. It's still building, so let's still wait for that. What will be the next step? Run pod trunk push. That's like the next thing we'll do, and we can actually do it at the same time. So I'll just open a new tab, and this is also in the BartyCrouch, right? Yeah. I'm just going to run pod trunk push in here. I think we have set up pod trunk in the past, so it should be valid authenticated already. But there is an issue, and I don't know what it is, but I will just upgrade CocoaPods, because my feeling is maybe we have an old version of CocoaPods. Oh, we need to first wait for that. Ah, I see. So I have to follow order. So I have to wait for this to be finished before I can continue with that one. Next would be update tag and revision. Yeah, this we can actually do independently. Yeah, let's do that. So we can now also go into the formula, change this to 10, and the revision to the commit SHA hash of this commit with the tag. Important to do. And then this should be working. It depends on Xcode 30 part 3 actually. And that's it. This is still building, wow. We are upgrading CocoaPods, and it's also upgrading some other stuff. Which is fine, I guess. No broken dependence. Cool. And CocoaPods was upgraded. Okay. But we are still waiting for it to finish compiling. It has not finished compiling, and this is the half of that file. It's within build Apple products release. Build. Oop. What's the focus timer? Build Apple products release and BartyCrouch dot portable BartyCrouch.zip today at 12:40. Yeah, it's fine. Looks like the right one, and we're going to upload it here. So I'll just drag and drop. As uploaded, now I can publish this release. Oh, the release is now online basically here, and we can now upload it to CocoaPods as well, just following with this pod trunk push. So we're basically pushing the newest version to the CocoaPods trunk. So everyone can just install it with pod install easily. Although I know that there is an issue with CocoaPods installation, I think on M1 or something like that. So something going on there. There was a bug shown there, but yeah, I'm doing this CocoaPods push mostly for. I'm seeing also something here. Set to 10.6, but the range supported deployment 9 to. Okay, that's interesting, but that's just a warning. Anyhow, there was an issue with CocoaPods, and I don't really use CocoaPods myself, so I need the help of the community for fixing that. I think it might be a larger thing. Maybe we will tackle it in the future, but for now, let's fix this and finish up the release. So we have these things changed now in this file, and last but not least, we need to run this one here. Commit and push the change. Let's do that first. So, looking good. This is update formula to version 4.10.0. Push that. And lastly, we're going to run this command with the tag 4.10.0 and the revision. Copy that again. And that should do the rest, and basically make a update PR to Homebrew core. So while this is running, let me quickly show you how that works. So if you are a library that is part of Homebrew core, so you can just call brew install BartyCrouch without any fancy stuff. Okay, this is already completed, so that was fast. So I just opened this pull request. I just wanted to show you Homebrew core anyways. So this was just created by that script, and this is going to cause the CI things to build, etc. And then also someone from the Homebrew core team to be informed about this, so they can basically merge this. And when they merge it, basically the release will be live on Homebrew itself. And it works through this Homebrew core, where there are many formulas, which are just Ruby files, so you can look into them. Like for example, ACE here is a formula how to install the tool, basically. And there is also one for BartyCrouch in here. And the current one is pointing to 4.9.0, and once the new version is going to be merged, it's going to work with it's going to point to 4.10.0. So that's basically what this is about. And yeah, that's the release. So BartyCrouch should be live shortly within Homebrew, and the issue should be fixed. And we should inform these people that have reported these bugs here so, about the new release. Point to it as well. Anyone else here? Nope. I just released version 4.10.0. with a fix. Should be live. And the pull request we just opened. Not the right one. Let's just open Homebrew core. Just go to the pull request, and should be the latest one. Should be live once is merged. And I think we did have a text for live comments. I just don't remember the shortcut. So let me look that quickly up. And it was, nope, it's gone. Really, my shortcuts are leaving me. I have to look it up somewhere. Somewhere I have to have it. So latest, recently updated. Let me just open a couple of them. I'm sure one of them will have comments. There you go. Something like live. How can we do that? Slash comment. This is actually footer. Slash footer, I don't know. Replace it with this thing. Now could be able to write slash footer. This code was written during my regular opportunity. Follow me there to spawn. Oh. And this is the same comment for the other bug as well. Which should be this one. And here let's mention everyone else. So it's 3ML, min and captcha and conda. I'll select this nick at git. Nick at git. Nick at git, yeah. Should be live once it's merged. This. And that's it. Oh, I should have closed. Close with comment. There you go. The new release is finalized and we have made a new BartyCrouch release with the fix and it should be live soon. And also the pull request on Homebrew Core should be merged in a couple of hours. That's typically how fast it gets merged. I could follow these checks here. As you can see, they are looking good, so it's all looking nice. And that's that for this part. So we're going to move on now, or move back, our open focus timer. Let me close all these so we can start fresh. And that's the BartyCrouch release. So the open focus timer front here. This is the summary of our last stream, what we did in last stream. And actually, let me create the summary for this stream. Copy the next steps, because we have actually done some open focus timer work. Today is here BartyCrouch 4.10 release. Open focus timer. I think it's part 12 already. Okay, this is the next steps that we had documented, and the first progress was our release, and you can also point to it right directly. Here, BartyCrouch. Let's link to the release. Fixed an issue with, or updated Swift syntax to Swift 5.6 version plus update our made the release. Now we also fixed Swiftland warnings, made a new BartyCrouch release. With version 4.10.0. There you go. This is all progress so far. And let's go back and have a look at what we did last time. So we know where we were at. Okay, we removed navigation wraparound timer views, so we improved UI basically last time. We added some padding around reflection view, changed the stop icon, created a new view extension to with the preview variants. That's also something that I'm going to share with a blog article in the future, so I think it's something that could be reused by others as well. Then we improved some text fields UI. We replaced the single text field by a multi-line text editor. Then the label start button we changed to continue, and we improved the top spacing in timer view. All we have done. Then we had some blockers, which was Xcode 13.2.1 is adding some weird vertical padding, a large one in previews. That's something we had. We have for Xcode 13.3 now, so maybe it's fixed, we'll see. Dynamic type seems not to be supported on macOS, so this didn't work. I expect it still doesn't work, so I'm not going to try again. And learned how to write a useful preview variants. Yeah, that's already mentioned. That was the last stream, and we are going to continue from there. And we had thought last time that we could continue with preventing the reflection part of the windows on the Mac to jump around when starting a timer due to progress view showing. So that's also a UI issue, so we could be continuing on the UI direction. We could animate the progress view value changes, that would be nice, but I think this is not the current focus. And we could fix more warnings. Basically, we wrote warnings ourselves for parts that are not totally finally finished yet, where we just had some temporary solution or no solution at all. So this basically means continuing on the parts that we haven't completed yet and completing more things off. So I think this one makes sense, so I'm going to start with that. Well, let's open the focus timer first. Let's revert the changes that we made here for the BartyCrouch release. Okay. So here's the project. Let's open it. Let's also close BartyCrouch if we have it still open. Great. Let's make sure this is building after the update to Xcode 13.3. Let me actually go to some view here to see if also the previews are still working, which we had problems with in the past. Feature is building, nice. Let's see if the feature is building. Also building. Let's run the previews. Okay, we still have the height issue here. We might want to specify specific frame height to have more useful previews here. I'm gonna set it to 800, maybe it's too much. 500. Better. So the previews are now more useful. In the app, in the final app, it does work. Just the preview that didn't work, so we also just changing the preview here. So as this is working, maybe we also want to see it on iOS. Yeah, let's wait for the iOS builds to finish. Be up soon. I just said, okay, there you go. So this is what it looks like on iOS, and maybe we just want to do this frame size setting on macOS only. So do macOS only, which is our extension within the handy SwiftUI dependency. This should now change the previews for iOS. Use the full screen again. There you go. And this one is actually interesting. Is this scrollable? Seems to not fit in. Yeah, it is automatically scrollable. Should be fine then. Nice. This is much better than what we had before. And let's run the app now. I want to see basically what we want to focus on. This is happening sometimes. Rerun. Okay. Should be starting now. There you go. Okay, so this one thing I can already mention is this thing's way too large. I mean, this is a focus timer first and foremost, and not like a note-taking app. But that's something maybe to fix for later. What we actually want to do is when we started time tracking, this thing here. You can see it's jumping around. It's like jumping down and up. And that's what we're going to fix right after the break. So I'll be back in 3 minutes. See you there. Okay, back. And Boone is in the chat, is writing, oh, Neo is fighting with Agent Smith. You mean because of my background? you can read that code. That's amazing. By the way, it's really interesting that actually Matrix, that text that you can see there, because I'm learning Japanese, it's just a Japanese alphabet. It's just called katakana. And if you look that up, that's basically it's these characters running the whole time there. So it's like just Japanese text there. And so I don't know how to, like, for someone who knows Japanese, it doesn't look that crazy then anymore, which is really interesting. I mean, they also mixed in some other stuff, but it's mostly just these Japanese characters. Okay. But we were on this screen, and basically what we were talking about was this jumping around of this UI here, which is not great, because imagine you want to click something here and it's jumping down now here like this. We don't want to have that, so we want to have a set height here, and I think the easiest solution for that is actually just set a height for the timer view. Let's see if that's going to be a good solution. And maybe we don't want to make it part of the timer view itself, but like the place where we call into timer view. So let's see timer view. .init. By the way, I've basically found a new button here on Twitch, and I just thought I could click that and to see what happens. And that was the add button. And as I'm not here anyways in my breaks, I thought maybe I could just click that. So how was it as a viewer, as an experience to have that ad? Was it too loud? Was it too distracting? Did you hate it? Because obviously if that's like too distracting, I'm not going to do that in the future anymore. But maybe it's like worth it, and I'll have something back by just showing that from time to time. Maybe not every 25 minutes, maybe every 25 minutes, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Okay, so we are calling the init method here, and we could basically specify the view size here. So for example, we could just say frame height, I don't know, something specific like 400, I don't know. Let's see what that looks like. So, it's still jumping around though. So it's not just the frame height. It is something else. Maybe we could just, in place of the progress view, that's like another fix we could do. We could just show, let me go switch to the timer feature, run the previous here. We could just show something else that has the same size of the progress view. Or we could just hide it. I don't know if when it's hidden, maybe we can get the, like maybe it still reserves the same space. Is that the case? Well, let me, instead of doing this if view store, let me try hidden. I think there is something like that. Whether the domain is visible. Is there like opacity? Can I use opacity here? And I can just say view store. Let me just copy this thing, which is a boolean. And if that's true, we're going to basically full opacity, otherwise 0. Let's just comment this out. What will this look like? Okay, so this does basically do what I want. If that's a great fix, I don't know. Well, let's just run it. If it fixes the issue, I think I will keep it, because it's not that bad after all. Maybe it's not that great for accessibility, so maybe I want to hide it for accessibility. Yeah, that's nice. So we might have an accessibility issue here. And I am going to check if the accessibility, if I can hide it also from accessibility. So again, my main view, main screen changed again. Let me check that. There is an issue with the latest OS here. For some reason. Now it's working. Okay, so hide view from accessibility. From voiceover, basically. Hiding and grouping, accessibility hidden. I think that's what we want. Specifies whether to hide this view from system accessibility features. Perfect. So I want to hide it when this is not shown also for the voiceover. So let's just go for accessibility hidden and just give the same logic here. So when we want to hide it when it's not running. So hidden when it's not running. Cool. So we have fixed that issue. It was simple. I think it works. It's not jumping around anymore. Great. Let's see if how this looks on the iOS app. Let's run it on iPhone 13. See what happens there. It should look like this and it should also not jump around, but we'll see what actually happens. Simulator is starting slowly. Always the first start. Okay, it's really loading. Okay, now it's loading it. This is looking ugly. Okay, we have to fix this next for sure. I want to see if it's jumping around. It's not jumping around, but at the same time we're not getting a circular progress. And I do want to have circular progress, so let's try to fix that first. We have a progress view and we call it to be circular, and it doesn't show nicely on iOS. So SwiftUI progress circular iOS. Let's see what we can find there. I want to build something like this, but I guess this is a custom view, right? So progress, custom progress bars in SwiftUI. Looks like there is no assistant, there is no default one. Yeah, they're all building something with circle. You might have to do that as well. Circular progress view. It even works on watchOS, seriously, and it's not available on iOS. Linear. What will it look like if we use linear on iOS? Linear. And let's just specify some. Okay, let's not do that. I'm just going to run that. Or wait. I think we can also run it here, right? In the previous here. I just run it there. It's still building. Okay, it's not much faster, to be honest. And it's failing. Okay, let's cancel that. Running the app is fast enough. Ah, I think it was not working because I'm on the wrong scheme. I have to switch to the timer feature scheme for it to work in the previous, I think. It's failing now too. Ah. Okay. Oh, at least it's showing some progress. Yeah. Well, why in a circle? Look at that. What about automatic? What else do we have available here? It's a progress view style. Linear circular. Progress view that visually indicates progress using a circular gog. Custom view will help. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to prevent here. This is time investment to add a new custom view, but it looks like we have to do it for iOS. And also on macOS, the default one is not really looking great. So I think we're going to implement our own circular progress view. For now, I'm just going to stick with circular on macOS. And on iOS, we might need to use the linear one because it's showing the progress. That's too bad. I just want to have for now, because I'm not going to focus on UI looking really nice, because we're going to make a design step before that. So when we get to the making the UI beautiful, I first want to make the app work. So we can basically make a 0.1 release or an alpha release, where we can say, okay, now you can use the app and technically it will work. It will save the data properly to the core data database. And then from there on, we're going to iterate on the UI, on the app icon, on everything, to make it look nice as well. And I am actually planning, that's also an idea that I had. I don't know if that's going to be something interesting to the community, but the idea I have is to even write a theming changer feature. So you let me show you, I just wrote it, I think, into the Open Focus Timer document here as the last thing. So implement a multi-design chooser for timer screen. And it will allow the community to add more alternative UIs for that basically serve their needs for this timer screen. So when they basically start the app, they can go to the settings and they can just choose another timer screen, and that will basically give them an entirely new layout with the same data. And because I can imagine first there can be multiple and different use cases for this app. So some may not need all these fields, some may just focus on one of them, or some may not even be interested in these, and some may automate what's written in these fields that you can't see right now. And also this one might look different for example, imagine another streamer using something like, I am showing on my screen right now the Flow app, which is this app here at this top right. And I'm going to obviously switch to Open Focus Timer once this is ready to be used. And some streamers might want to have their own design there, maybe their logo in it and things like that. And I want to enable this all because it's open source after all, that there should be some advantage to that. And the idea is that, yeah, that way people can customize. And the other thing is that I also want to just provide some example open source app where people who are just beginning doing iOS development can do something actually on a real app and just play around with SwiftUI, because this app is developed in SwiftUI. The state is simple enough, and you can just play around then with SwiftUI. So Boone is writing, giving me some code here. Let me copy that code just to show you, because you have taken the time, so I want to show what this would look like. Let me just add it below that. Oops. Copy didn't work. Okay, let me just write it here. So you're writing use a circle, then trim from 0 to CG float, min self.progress. Okay, in my case, that's my value. Let's just go for 0.5, 0.1, then stroke, style, line width 20, line cap round, used, line cap round, line join, round 2, no meter limit, or dash. Then you said foreground color red, for example. Oh, I guess that's part of this, right? Animation, linear, something like that. That won't compile, I guess. That's it. Let's go to the timer feature. Get the previews. So let's go one by one. So let's first start with this. Does this work? It does work. And the stroke. Does this work? Nope. We have the style. Stroke style. Let's indent it properly so we can see the issues in here. Then you had this. This is I guess this foreground color is here. And animation linear. See what that looks like in the preview. It's half filled. Ah, it was even animating in like that from the top. Maybe we should turn the animation off for now. Okay, this is what it looks like, and it's from the bottom. Maybe we want to also rotate that. Width to max width. I don't get what you mean by that. Do you mean like max width? Infinity or something like that? Or just a specific value like this? Okay, I get what this is doing. So we can maybe this in one. Can we rotate? Rotation, angle, degrees, 90, something like that. Minus 90. So when it's 10%, 5%, 75%, 9%. Looking like completed, maybe we should be not too. So thank you for the code, Boon. I am probably even going to keep this, even though it's not perfect yet, because you helped here. I personally wouldn't have invested that much time, but I want to see like 95%. Yeah, okay, at least 95 we can see. Fine. Line cap, line join. I think line join. Okay, really visible. Then we want to use the actual progress here, which is value in total. We can just calculate it, or maybe we have it here. Remember? Completed type progress points. Just calculate this here inside of it. Public var current progress bubble. Now we just go with after running duration, after timer run out duration. Should work. And this should basically be view store, current focus timer, and progress. This one, yeah. And we're going to see two progress bars. But anyways, let me see first how this looks. New. Let's start. Okay, let's add the animation. Okay, obviously I'm only updating every second. I could fix that by updating like 20 times a second or something like that. Or I just maybe can provide a duration for the animation. Can I like initialize an animation with a duration? SwiftUI animation with duration. I'm sure that's possible. Animation. Okay. And I also just pass duration to linear. Linear. Duration. Like this. Built. Let's try. Yeah, it works. The problem with this is going to be when I pause, it's going to pause at the exact second. And also at the start, when I just start, it doesn't continue. It only starts continuing when 1 second has passed. It's not a big deal, in my opinion, to have it only seconds, because actually this is going to be like 25 minutes or 5 minutes, and then like a small change is not going to be that big of a deal. So I think just duration, linear, second one, I think it's fine. I'm just going to keep it. So this is not perfect code, but it's much better than before. So I'm just going to keep this. Let's give this a color. So it's red color right now. Do we have an app color yet? Let me see the colors we have here. So we do have a sample color. We don't have any app colors yet. I could just go for, let me just go for accent color, whatever the user sets up as their accent color. And Xcode is hanging. Yeah. Wait, maybe my keyboards was not working. No, I can't go left, right. Something's wrong with Xcode here. Okay, now it's working again. So let's just go for accent color. But the start is not starting right away, which is kind of weird. But that's because like the timer just starts and then takes a second until it updates. I think for now this is fine. If we set 5 minutes here, you'll not notice that big of a difference every second anyways, but it should look nicer than before. Let's see what this is about. Was deprecated. Use with animation or animation value instead. Okay, so there is a deprecation in here. Animation value. Applies the given animation to this view when the specified value changes. Ah, that's interesting. That's cool. And the value that changes in our case is this one here. And the animation should be the same. If that works as well. Okay, let's make this a little bit larger. I actually prefer this maybe 100. Looks better. So we're getting notification before this is completed because we're basically using a 1 second animation. Maybe we don't need an animation after all. Because if we have 5 minutes, every small change should be not big of a deal. Monsieur B, hi there. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the stream, Monsieur B. How are you doing? How's your day going? You can see first time streaming in the morning, or in the it's already kind of afternoon. Sorry. And the stream is also going to. I'm also going to go into a lunch break in like a few minutes. Just 2 minutes left here, and after the lunch break, I'll be also back. At 2:30, so 1 hour break basically. But we were just on this progress here, and this doesn't look nice. So there are some issues here, and I'm just going to document them because we're not focusing on the UI yet. But Boon has provided us with this implementation basically, so I have applied it, and it's better than the progress view that we had at the top. So we can get rid of this, I think. Yeah, except for maybe that I want to also make this opaque if there is basically no focus timer running at the moment, and also I want to basically hide it from accessibility when it's basically not when it's hidden, so it's not also shown to VoiceOver. And then we can, I think, get rid of this code. And I'm just going to document that this is not final, and the two aspects here are first that the timer is when timer is up, and timer is up, animation isn't finished yet. Fix. And the other thing Nice. I've never really deep dive on the progress bar. The progress bar is a very simple one that you get, like the progress view, I mean. It's a very simple one that was provided by Apple and by the system. You can't really make much with it. So I think most users are going to actually implement a custom one like this one here. And I think it's a good idea to extract this also. Extract, progress. Yeah, this is over already. Extract. Let me hide the timer. Extract progress bar into its own view. That's definitely something we want to do. And when the timer is up, animation isn't finished yet. That's like due to the timer. Fix timer firing. We could fire it more often. And extracting that, I think that's like enough written as warnings, things that we need to do here. But I think we can keep it then as is. This thing maybe can be simplified to something else, but this works for me. And stroke is also not fine. I think we can put that in fine. Trim from 0 to... Okay, I see what it's doing here. Nice. It can be put into its own line. Cool. I'm currently struggling to transform Unicodes, real emojis, in a string right now. Unicodes in a string. So you have like a UTF-8 view or something like that? I know that there was a similar topic on the Swift parsing library, where they have done a lot of things by point free. So if you look at the Swift parsing library, I'm not specifically sure about Unicode. Why is it not showing? Point free co slash Swift parsing. So in here they have a lot of Unicode stuff going on and conversion between two things like Unicode from Unicode's Gallery view, etc, etc. And in the latest episode also they have discussed that topic, transforming ISO country codes as Unicodes to display the related flag. Ah, I see. So what you have is like, let me quickly create a Xcode playground for that. So what you basically have is ISO flags. So let me import foundation. You just have like country code, for example DE, and you're trying to look up the related flag as a string, right? For example, let German flag, or let just flag be, and then let me just look up any emojis here. Germany. So you just want to create like this string from this code, right? I'm using this internal function. Let me write that. So you have a function get flag from country code string, and you have country code dot Unicode scalars dot map, and then you're doing 127397 plus value, basically this, and then you compact map on that. So let me write this in multiple lines, more readable. The compact map with the Unicode scalar init method, and you map on that and turn it into an init, into a string, and then you join it all. So this is your code, but I have a weird special character attached to the flag. Now find country and scope, country code. Why raw value though? You have country. Where did I get that raw value from? Country code. Okay, so basically calling get flag from D should return a flag, right? See if that works. So this works, but I have a weird special character attached to the flag. You mean like when I do something like flag? Yeah, let's do it like move this out. Is this, and then I do like flag.unicode scalars. What's wrong with this flag? How can I see the special character? I just see the flag, so this is working. Sending you a screenshot on Discord. Can you send me like an example where I can see that? Check Discord on my phone. I didn't receive anything yet. But this looks like it's kind of working. Unicode scalars map. Okay. Available currencies. So you're getting that, for example, for countries do you have there? For Argentina. Is it AR? Yeah. Well, I'm not getting that. Maybe I need to import SwiftUI. Import SwiftUI, and then let's just say can we do here? I just copy it from a real project. So just show a preview here. Some preview. No data needed, and the previews just could be text showing get flag from the. Does that work? For the all list, it's weird. Probably something with a text view. Maybe. Let me see if I can show you what I'm seeing here. Just a sec. While I'm connecting to QuickTime, sometimes it does weird things. Looking good now. So this is basically what you're getting. You're getting this D, N, L, etc. That's your bug. Wrong place. So why is this not running? I'm gonna show a SwiftUI preview in X. I know this works. Let me just quickly look it up. So, this one here. I need to import playground support for that. Import playground support, and then we can just say something like text get flag from. See what that looks like. iLox just cheer 1 bit. Thank you very much, and welcome to the stream. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I'll do my best. And this, for some reason, does not do anything. Here's the live preview. There we go. So this is showing nicely for me. It's like not great UI. But if I set the frame with 500, right? 100. Let's see also a little bit more. And yeah, I can only see the flag. Or if I change it to... can we get a list of all country codes? Like locale, ISO, currency, ISO, region codes? Let's try region codes. Or region code in. And then we just show a view here for each of them. Let's make it a stack view. And let's just create a VStack. And for each of them, we show this text. Let's make the height less here. Maybe let's remove it all. That's stack view. And this is view. Does this compile? Cannot be used with result. Yeah, of course not. Let's just make it a list and use it for each. Region code in. Yeah. Super weird, even the print is returning the special character for me. Maybe it's an issue with your computer, because I have the same code here, right? Is it the same code as you have? Oh, I'm getting... Same? Oh yeah, I'm not using it yet. Come on, Xcode is hanging. This works for me. I don't have this bug. It works for every flag, basically. But I heard recently that there is something called Flag Kit or something like that. Maybe that's something you might be interested in. And it's used something like that. Don't know. I mean, I think they have like extra things in here. I'm doing exactly the same. It's turning me crazy. Did you do like a deep clean build? Maybe that's going to help. But at least you know now that it's working for me. So this code is working for me. I don't know why it's not working for you. It's weird. Also, don't ask me about Unicode scalars. I'm not a pro there. But again, maybe this is going to be helpful to you. In case you can't solve it, maybe you'll have like a fallback at least. Anyhow, this is the end of this stream, and I just wanted to commit my last changes here in the Open Focus Timer. Now let me just double check that this is all working. So let me close this one. And in here, thank you for following Free L Moritz. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So let's run the app again, just to see if everything is working as expected. So this is still working, it's still not looking great, but we're going to work on the UI in a later stream. And let me also double check the iOS one, that this also works as expected. It's also going back. Yeah, there's some issues there still, but it's better than the one that we had before. And it's all about improving with each stream. So here we have it. A custom circle shape based on progress. See what we did. And we have to also summarize what we did here. Let me just copy this text. And Is this something we did today? Nope. It's this. So yeah, we made a BartyCrouch release in this stream, and we have done this as well. Session summaries, and this is today's session summary. So this is the change we made, and we will continue with this later when I continue the stream. Yeah, thanks for trying to help. Have a good lunch break. Thank you very much. So I'm going to have a lunch break now. I'll be starting, so I will end the stream. I will start a new stream around 2:30, maybe 2:40. So thank you very much for everyone who has joined in, and for those watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, and see you around later or some other day. Bye.